And I don't want to speak for too long. I want to listen to you this morning. Then I'll address some of the concern. But I just want to give you, in a nutshell, what is the objective of the government, and by extension, the agriculture sector. Now, you know for a fact that we have seen, and I think that in every corner in our country, we have seen a renewed interest in agriculture for the last 4 years, because although we are an oil and gas producing country, and oil and gas is an exciting sector, and most of the people in the country were drawn to this sector, we are now seeing, because of the investment, because of what we have been doing, because the role that Guyana is playing in food security, we are now seeing a renewed interest in agriculture. We are seeing that Guyana is once again taking its rightful place in the region. And I can say that when I became Minister of Agriculture, we haven't had this kind of excitement, because I know for a fact that in 2020, we were in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, and CARICOM wanted to craft a food strategy, and that strategy was led by St. Vincent. Although since the formation of CARICOM, Guyana always speak on agriculture and food security. But then in 2021, we had the first heads of government meeting, CARICOM heads of government meeting in Belize. And at that meeting, President Ali made a presentation how the region can reduce its food import bill. Because the food import bill of CARICOM is approximately between 6 to 8 billion US dollars annually. And if we could save or reduce that, then we can utilize those money that we are bringing imports out from the region, outside of the region, to do other things. And that presentation and the recommendations that he made were accepted by the CARICOM heads of government. And at that meeting, they decided that the region has to reduce its food import bill by 25% by 2025. That is why, if you've been following the news, we have this 25 by 2025, that reducing the food import bill. And for that to become successful, because when you look around the Caribbean, I have 15 full member states in CARICOM and the 5 associated states, you'll see that Guyana, what we have in Guyana, those countries in the Caribbean don't have. We have flat, arable land, and we have fresh, large, abundant fresh water. And when you go around these islands, you'll see rocky area. We don't have the kind of flat lands that we enjoy here. And that is why since 2021, we have seen the budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector. We have not only tripled it, but it has increased over 300%. From 2020, it was $13.5 billion. Today it's almost 96.7 billion, just after 4 years. And we have transformed the agriculture sector, because when you look today, in all the areas in the agriculture sector, we are seeing growth. And this year again, you'll see when the Minister of Finance, I don't want to preempt him, but you'll see again this year that 2024 will be one of the most productive years for us in the agriculture sector, in all the areas except sugar. Because we have some issues with sugar that we are trying to address. But I am coming back to, for us in the Caribbean to achieve that 25% reduction, and for that to be successful, then Guyana has to be successful. That is why you've seen this investment, massive investment in the agriculture sector. And for Guyana to become successful, we need you, the farmers' input. And that is why the President himself, the Vice President, and the entire cabinet, when we go out and I go out, we talk about agriculture. We want Guyana to be a powerhouse in agriculture. As I'm speaking now, we are doing massive mega projects across this country. We are building a food hub. We want Guyana to be a food producing country. We are building a food hub at Yarukabra, at the Linden Suicide Highway, where that food hub will be already signed an MOU with the state of Roraima in Brazil to supplement us what we can produce. But as it stands now, Guyana is producing 60% of the food that we are consuming. We as a government, we want us to produce more. We want Guyana to produce almost all the food. That is why we have gone into new areas. We are now producing corn and soya. This year, we are hoping by the end of next year, we can produce all Guyana's need in corn and soya. Every year we import almost $30 million US in corn and soya for livestock feed. We want to produce all that. So if we can do that next year, the entire Takama Savannah, barren land, we transform it now into fertile land. We build hundreds of kilometers of roads in the Takama Savannah. We have built silos there. We are now building a wharf and we are building a conveyor system so we can transport from the silos to the ship directly the soya rather than do it manually. So we have transformed that. So we are doing now a lot of corn and soya here. We have started with the new high-value crops. We are modernizing the agriculture sector. Because if we want to be competitive, if we want to be a sector to produce food, if we want Guyana to be the main producer of food, a food hub for us, then we have to modernize the sector. That is why now we are moving away from the labor-intensive way of doing things to more modern way, bringing in more young people, attract more young people. Today, young people don't want to get involved into agriculture, although they would have gone to the University of Guyana and came out with a degree in agronomy. They went to the Guyana School of Agriculture, hundreds of students. We are training at the Guyana School of Agriculture, but at the end of their tenure, they're going to do something else. And what they learn in the classroom, they are not going out there to deliver. And that is the problem. So what we have done over the last 4 years, we now are trying to bring in more young people. We have created a company, farmer company, where we are making these young people shareholders of the company. We are helping them to establish their own agricultural plots, agricultural income, shadehouse, build shadehouse, help them subsidize with subsidized costs, and today hundreds of young people are earning the same set of people who never want to get involved in agriculture, who feel agriculture was a menial job, agriculture is just for people who never went to school. We are changing that perception. We are changing that perception. So as I said, that we are seeing exciting times now in the agriculture sector. For the first time, you will hear the minister read out his budget speech in the parliament in another few months' time. For the first time in history, starting a rice cultivation in Guyana. This year will be the first year that we have surpassed the 700,000 ton mark for production of rice. First time ever. We are present now 724,000 tons, and we still got some more to harvest. We see high value crop. Things like in 2021 we imported in this country $2.6 billion in high value crop, broccoli, cauliflower, carrot, lettuce, bell pepper for the hospitality industry. And these things are simple to plant right in the yard, not really need big space for it. You understand? We can work along with you all to help you to, and let me tell you, a shade house, I was just quoting, yesterday I had some young, meeting with some young people who met with the president. And the president invited me at that meeting, some artists who are in culture and sports and so on. They want to get involved because they see now that there are exciting opportunities in the agriculture sector. And although they are artists and they are sportsmen and sportswomen, they want to get involved in agriculture. So the president invited me with them yesterday and we had a good meeting. And a shade house, one shade house will give you approximately $300,000 to $400,000 annually, right? Jack, right?
Sometimes more, depends.
Sometimes more, depends on the crop. And that's simple, we can work along with farmers. One way for you to earn more money another way for you to contribute to the productive sector in our country. And that's the way we can, one, eradicate poverty. We can work to supplement people's income. And now because you're almost a public servant and you work from 8 to 4:30, you don't have time to do planting in the place. We have to change that perception. We have to change that perception. And look, there are a lot of times we can do these things. Leaving out the large-scale farmers. The large-scale farmers that have large plots, we will work directly with you. We will see what kind of infrastructure that you need. We will ensure that we help you with all the planting material. And when I say agriculture, we are seeing exciting times. I mean it when I talk these things, because sometimes you might not know what we are doing. I just mentioned that we will be expending $96.7 billion this year at the end of this year. But what we are doing, we are making new labs. We are doing soil testing. We are having our extension officers work with the farmers directly so that they can show them best practices, how they can do things easier, how they can get more production coming out of their plots. We are now, because of the demands for planting material, we have 11 nurseries across this country. 11 nurseries cannot produce the amount of planting material that people are demanding. Farmers need planting material. A couple seeds that we are giving out, a couple planting materials that we are giving out cannot prepare our country to be that food hub that we want it to be. So now we are building a tissue culture lab. Now at Manrico, we are building a tissue culture lab that will produce millions of planting material. By the first quarter, the end of the first quarter next year, I'm hoping that this tissue culture lab will complete. We have an international company that is working with us. We can produce, depends on what the farmers are planting, we can produce all the citrus plant. We can produce every type of planting material can be produced at the tissue culture lab. But the most important thing, when we produce these planting material, we'll produce them to be pest resistant and disease resistant. So that the spraying that you have to do, chemicals that you have to use to keep away the pests or the diseases, that will eradicate that part. We'll eradicate those parts. And what we have been doing also, we have been looking to increase yield, the yield that we are getting now, that we have. For example, I mentioned about rice. We didn't expand so much rice cultivation. We still just around 220,000 acres we are cultivating. This year we cultivated 219,000 acres. This crop gone. But we have increased the yield. And that is the way, that is the smart way of doing things. We used to get 5.8 or 5.5 tons per hectare. Now we get 6.9 tons per hectare. The same amount of land, but we're getting more production. That's the way to do it. And for example, cassava. In Region 3, we got a set of farmers in Region 3 who are cultivating cassava. They used to get between 15 to 18 tons per hectare cassava. We work along with them. The same amount of cassava, the same hectare of plant. But we increase the yield now from 18 to 30 tons. We are now setting up a cassava processing plant because with the amount of cassava. Only a few days ago, we sent into Morocco 10,000 pounds of cassava for them to prepare and make cash rate. We pay the community, they make it the cash rate, and we have pure cassava cash rate coming out back to sell out. These are the things that we talk about. Over the last 4 years, we have now, when you look at the Guyana shop, agro-processing. We have over 3,000 items being produced in Guyana. And when you look at it, and let me tell you all something. When you look at the line of items that we are producing, processing, you might want to feel that these things coming from overseas. All the things that come from overseas, we are producing here in Guyana. We are processing it here in Guyana. Things like liqueur, wine, all those luxury things, that we luxury items, we are producing it here right here in Guyana. So it needs us to work together. work together. I know, I said I would not talk, but agriculture is have a long story. I can talk now and tell you everything. But it's for you to take up the opportunities that the government is creating for you. You as the farmers, we want to work with you. We want to ensure that we make your area productive once again. And I mean it when I say that I will work with you. As I said, that we'll look at the cultivation, we'll look at the areas that you are planting, we'll look at the farming areas, and we will develop the infrastructure. We'll provide the planting materials. We'll give you, get our extension officer to work with you to give you the kind of techniques so that you can plant and you can produce more. We want Guyana, as I said, the president is very passionate and very, very passionate about this sector, the agriculture sector. That is why when you see investment coming into the area, coming to Guyana, a lot of people now are coming into the agriculture sector to invest. We are now linking asset capital to the farmer. So if you want to plot a land, and we have an investor, we can link you to that investor, and the work and the investor work together. You have the land, he has the capital, and you produce. We can also, we have to be more specific when we do things. We can't want to produce everything under the sun. If you do planting and you want to produce different crops, let us do it in large scale. You don't expect to produce plant 100 bora and say that you agriculture. We have to change our mindset. We can't expect to do things in the same old way we used to do 10 and 15 years ago and expect to get better results. The world is changing. And we have to ensure that what we are offering, you take up the advantage, you take up the opportunities. So I will pause here, hand it back to the chairman, and feel free to raise any issue. If you are outside, even outside of agriculture, I will take it and ask my colleague to deal with it. But let us deal with agriculture, focus on agriculture. With your input, I know this area here, it has the potential, and we can make it back once again productive. And I want to work with every one of you. And let us develop this community and let us make it once again productive for the benefit of your area and the country. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Yarek has a mic. So indicate him, you come in the mic to you, and the minister will respond accordingly. So you just, when you're standing, you say your name, and the farmer probably, and give your number so that the staff and different agency can have a record as well. So when you're ready, you know, the floor is open for farmers for their contribution.
Who wants to speak for us? Nobody? Yeah, let me congregate.
Good morning, Minister. I'm representing land at the section C.
Yes, please.
Sir, the problem, in my view, that we are experiencing, we have bushes taller, long, taller than coconut tree. The problem is that Gaisuku then used to maintain the waterway and the access dam. Now that Gaisuku is not functioning, the waterway and the access dam have not been maintained for over 30 years, especially the dam, the access dam. Hence, there is no farm to market route. And because there is no farm to market route, persons cannot access their farm easily, unless by foot. And it is mud, so you can imagine what it would be when it's raining. As we speak, sir, I am cultivating my bed. It cost me till now about $3 million to grow all this land, to plow it. And listening to your speech, I would ask if you can allow me some planting sucker as we speak. I want like about 2,000. 1,000 planting, 1,000 banana sucker. I was in the process of buying it from Cameroon. But if you can help me, you will help to alleviate some of my expenses.
Can you state your name and your number?
My name is Moneshwar Litram. And you can get me on 616-893. 892. So one big problem we are facing here now since the farm to market road is inaccessible for years now. Now that we have sections in LBI that's becoming mountain scheme, you have access from that end. You have access from that end. The only way to get access is bridging the sideline. And the only people who can bridge the sideline are the very wealthy people. So what has been happening here now is that these very wealthy people buying up the poor farmers' land who are willing to farm but doesn't have access, they come with a big sum of money and buy up the poor farmers' land because they know the farmer can't resist it. They would build a bridge for like $10 million. They wouldn't allow the neighbor next door with the poor farm to crash that bridge. So unless you have $10 million to build a bridge, you cannot cultivate your land. And these developers, they are...
Listen, how are you with the existing dam that you said blocked up the bush?
Yeah.
So, that area, LBI area that they are building the houses, let's forget for that now. Let's look at this area, how we can reopen it for you all.
Sir, but there's a current activities that will affect it eventually. What has been happening is that these developers come and buy up this land, buy up some land, and encroaching illegally on the neighboring land. And the NEC does nothing, absolutely nothing. They take a blind eye, claiming they don't know these activities are happening.
No, listen. Hold on. First of all, we have to deal with this problem systematically. You can't just... First of all, we'll clear the land, the dams that has the bush. Right? We'll clear back the waterway. NDI is making no. So what we'll do, I'll ensure that the engineer comes back here and do a report for us how many canals has to be done and how many dams. As it stands now, the chairman is telling me one main dam you all need to clear originally. I'll ask the NDI in Guyana to look at that. But the issue of people encroaching on the land is another issue. First of all, we have to have the farmers not to sell their land. You understand? Because if the farmers sell their land and give to people, they will eventually buy it. So I will ensure that we meet and we talk to the farmers and they can encroach. If the NDC is not listening to you or listening to the people whose lands are being encroached upon, let us leave a number here and you call us later. We'll deal with it. Right? Good.
But unless we deal with the dam, the farmers will be inclined to sell the land.
Well, that's why you have to do the work among the farmers. I'm saying that I just said that. You have to ask the farmers to desist. Because as long as we put in the necessary infrastructure, they will have back access to their land to cultivate. So that is the first thing we'll do.
But they said also, sir, we can raise issues apart from the farming, which you would relate to your
Definitely, I'm telling you that exactly. I'm telling you, you raise the land enforcement, and you raise it to the relevant authority to deal with it. So don't worry, our people are making notes, and we got people at the end there making notes.
Okay, sir. I will be happy if you can give us some time for that.
So we have the machine already, as I mentioned earlier when I commenced my discourse. We have a machine in the area already. Comprises know where the machine are. Listen, comrade. And the machine will go, that dam is in the program. The waterway is in the program. So very shortly, those two issues that you raised, we'll address it. You understand? We'll address that issue, those issues. So don't be afraid. And we'll look at the bridge. A bridge to cross over for farmers if you need a bridge there.
That will help.
Good, all right. Next.
Good morning, Minister. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Jason October. I am the former and also the secretary for the CDC, headquarters CDC. Mr. Minister, I envision Beterverwagting as one of a farmer hub and a farmer hub that contribute to your vision right? I see that working young people getting into farming in terms of what was the word? Hydroponics and also on shadehouse farming. Now, I'm a potential farmer, I would say, and a farmer that has a zeal for a development for a backland. Now, one of the things is that one of the reasons why I wasn't able to start farming is because of the dam, as my colleague indicated, right? My suggestion, I think that we need something that is sustainable and that will see that what can move forward. I don't feel that it's a one-off, investment in our community and so, right? So the suggestion that I would make is that either the CDC or we form a farmers group, and we are requesting, the farmers are requesting its own tractor is either managed by the CDC or managed by the farmers group. I think that will assist us in maintaining our own dam, and we will be able to have access, and we will definitely be motivated to farm, right? The other thing which my colleague did indicated is the section, the other dam, on the other section at LBI, that we can have access to a bridge, because we know that the road is building there. And in terms of our produce that the farmers will produce, we will be able to have a better opportunity to take out or produce much faster in terms of transportation and using one dollar. Right? We are also, I know I am one of the beneficiaries of the RAID project, and I must say thank you for that initiative. And we would also like the clearance of some of the tall vegetation, because we have lands that are out there, and we have a lot of vegetation, right? But I think if we are moving in the direction of having a broader vision and having Beterverwagting be one of the main producers on the coast, since we have large scale land around there, we would love the continuation of clearing of those lands. And also encourage young people to initiate some new training programs for young people, so that we could build that motivation and get young people on board. But I think we need some workshops as well to encourage young people to get into farming. But mainly, is the clearance of the backland, the maintenance of the backland by having our own tractor and a slasher, and that we could maintain our land ourselves as well. Yes.
All right, so according, so we can start immediately with what you mentioned, the training. If you could organize the young people, we can work along with CDC that you have formed. Also, the CDC can work with us in terms of help us maintaining these areas when we start with the initial clearing. So normally we just put these, give the CDC a payment every month to maintain these infrastructure, the waterway, the dams, so that the vegetation will not be pushed back once more. In relation to tractor and slasher, we can look at that, we can work over time, we can work on that. But also the clearance of the land, I don't have an issue, because you'll be doing that around the country. But first of all, we have to establish the rightful owners. You can't expect me to go into the land and then go and file a lawsuit against the government. So if we can establish the ownership of the land, I am willing to clear as much land as possible. At least you can start with 5 acres to a farmer and then move later on here. Right? So I will send back a team after today to meet with you all and go to the back dam, not come here. Go to the back dam and see what has to be done. And that team will prepare a report for me. And although we are starting the work in the community already, we will see what more we have to do based on that report. And that report will be done jointly between my technical officer and your committee. Right? But start with the young people, you have to organize it from next week. You can start a workshop. Start training in hydroponics, start training in shadehouse, and other things. Right?
I think they will need it.
Yeah, you're right. And you got a better advantage Then other area is very close, a school throw away from Nari.
Correct. Okay. And I think the young people want to get into farming. It's just that we need the vegetation and the maintenance of the
So
farm.
let us establish first of all the ownership and we'll do it.
Once you provide that, I guarantee you that Beterverwagting will transfer in terms of contributing to the vision that you guys have, and we'll definitely be a part
No
of it.
problem, but let us establish and I will do the clearing. I'll act in the end. Who next?
One thing.
You just answer it, you have somebody else, man.
Access will be the area of the background, and then the water after that. That's one of the biggest problems, because most of the problem is see the water. So I must have one company and with the visions. Thank you.
So we'll do it. We'll do the drainage. As the right to inside is drainage, we'll do the drainage and that will be in your program, right? And we'll do the dam, like I already pronounced it. So both will be done shortly. Any other? Nobody else?
This is just more like an insight and a suggestion. Now, going across the communities, we observe that we have some issues with livestock farmers, especially persons who are rearing swine. I know recently this community here, a complaint was raised with someone who's mining pigs and the feces is getting into the waterways and affecting residents with odor. So sitting there and thinking of just a suggestion again, is there any point of time that we can have in the regulations or laws whereby with these farmers, the livestock farmers, where we have some policies enshrining that they have to, and it's mandate that with your vision and their team, that they standardize the way of mining and rearing these animals. You know, we don't want to stop progress. We don't want to deprive anyone of their revenue and what they're doing, but I know that there are standards and there are policies and there will develop ways. I go online and I see, I saw a design for swine where they put the feces in a pit, and from the pen, the wash off goes into a pit like concrete pit, 100 feet down, and then you can have the machines come and empty that pit rather than the feces washing into drains. Because like BV, Melanie, and I'm sure many other communities, they're faced with this common problem outside of the center. But I think because there's no regulations, we as citizens and councillors and all these other authoritative positions, we are unable to tackle that, right? Because when you give these people this man, what do you want me to do? They've been doing this for years, nobody ever tell them. So I'm just giving a suggestion if we could look into putting it into policy regulation, that we have a control mechanism in place for persons who are rearing livestock.
Thanks. How many soil farmers you have in this community? Anyone here? Raise your hand, please. So only 1, 2, 3 persons up? You two come raise your hand. Yeah, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are legislation already. We have legislation governing livestock rearing and all other things in this country. So what I will ask GLB to come back and meet with all these one farmers. And we will continue to work with them to ensure what you are saying. But at the same time, we will also help you. We can help you to get better breed of animal, better breed of pig. And you all to develop your stock. But that doesn't mean you do it at the expense of the villager. Right? You have to work and be responsible. So GLB will be coming back shortly after one right here. He's the head of GLB, he has his team to come in and meet with all these farmers and talk to them. But at the same time, we'll help them also to develop their stock.
We currently doing the LBI.
That will drain the water out.
Yeah.
The stagnant water will not be there. Right. Any other? Yes, come on.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Honorable Minister. Just a quick question. I understand the vision of agriculture and how important it is to not only Beterverwagting but Guyana. I can remember when I was a bit more small, I should say that Beterverwagting market was actually one of the biggest markets. And I'm not sure how the process works in restoring the market. It is the NDC, but coming from an agricultural background, with the vision of having the backland cleared, getting a lot of farmers on board, how possible it is to restore the market to what was. I mean, it might not be back then because time has changed a lot. But can you say how possible it is to have that market restored? Because what I'm seeing here with the vision, we're gonna have so much farmers producing so much things. And like you mentioned, there are investors that is linked to the business that we can be connected to. But apart from persons who want to showcase their produce and stuff, can you weigh in a bit on that?
All right. First of all, is there a market presently? Good. So I'll ask the Ministry of Local Government that the market fall directly, and I'll ask my colleague to come in here or talk to the NDC how we can explain it. But my vision and our vision is not to get farmers who are producing in large scale to sell their produce at the market. They can sell part of the produce.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that, as I mentioned just now, that we are building a food hub. Like for example, let's show a typical example. We have all these cassava. So the farmer said there is a glut in the market. Because if each farmer who used to produce 18 tons per hectare now, each hectare produces 30. So you get double the production. So when I produce 100,000 tons of cassava, you get 200,000 tons now. So the market becomes saturated with cassava. The price will drop. So what I did, I get GMC to purchase the cassava from the farmers. They get the price of the cassava. Right? Now GMC took the same cassava, sent it into Morocco. Those people now producing cash meat. We now in turn GMC purchase back that cash meat from the people that at Morocco. So they take out the labor and they take out the amount of bitter cassava they will add to the sweet cassava because they needed bitter cassava to make the cash meat. So when they make a profit, they get a job, they become occupied, the farmers enjoy market for the cassava. Now, GMC, what they will do with the cash flow? GMC now we sell it out for these cash flow out. Give it back to retailer. Right? So GMC now make a profit, but they break even, they get back the money. But once GMC get back the money, when they expend, the farmers get a market, the people in Morocco get a job. And the ship, if you listen, always delay now, there will be a ferry service between Guyana, Trinidad, and Barbados. The ferry will come to Guyana. In the Eastern Caribbean now, what we are doing, we are negotiating. I have a technical team from the Ministry of Agriculture working along with places like Trinidad. Trinidad gives us a hard time for our produce to enter their market. Working along with Barbados is free now. So all the produce from Central America that this country used to purchase, they want to purchase it from Guyana. So we have an option there now. So yes, the farmers, what you rightly see, what you foresee is good, it's a vision that the farmers here will produce large scale, we will help them to find market, and that is what we have been doing from the GMC level, find market so that they can supply large scale. But at the same time, it's important that we develop back the market. So I'll talk to Minister Bharrat to work along with y'all, the NDC level and this committee and the CDC, and how we can rehab and make the market more attractive.
Ireland and Portugal. The second thing is that about 7 years ago I wrote a proposal to Suresh around IASD to industrialize cassava and eat from cassava. That's one thing. When Vice President Jagdeo was here last week, I raised the question of we don't have orchards in Guyana to produce the volume of fruits. And I'm saying that the Gaisuku lands, and I did look at, I'm not a politician, but I did look at it. The Gaisuku lands were set up to grow one crop, and therefore the drainage and irrigation system was designed for that. For orchards, you will need to correct that so that you won't have the high moisture and what have you. It can be done. So what I'm saying, the backlands of EV, going right back to my color from Pleasance, why doesn't the government consider a program to develop orchards for salsa, mango, passion fruit? I had, let me back up, 1980, I'm not a politician, I had a jamu jelly factory whilst I was a GPC as a process engineer, and you talk about a cassava factory, and I had one in Coca. Then lemongrass, there is only one pilot plant in Guyana, and that is at IEST. And when I was a process engineer at the GPC, we used to get $50 an ounce for lemongrass essential oil. It's a volatile oil that comes off on the leaves. Now it's about $500. But the backlands, and you did say yes, who owns the properties and what have you. We looked at that in detail. It's a serious problem behind here. You don't know who owns this one or that one or what have you. And I think along the villages are the same thing. But we need to think about orchards, the Gaisuku lands.
All right, so you have some very good suggestions, but the first, as you rightly said, we have to establish ownership. I am in kind as Minister of Agriculture. I commend the ideas that you have. If you could get that right up that you did, you could get a copy to me back that you sent to Suresh Naran. You must send a copy back to me, then I'll look at it, because right now, as I said, we are putting on a processing plant for cassava. And we need to incorporate some of the programs. That you have good programs in that right now. But the orchard is good, but as I said, I don't have no problem in establishing large flats of land. But first of all, we have to determine ownership. Because nowadays, you know, the first thing people do, the first thing they do is to send file a suit against the government, think they'll get a lot of money when it includes in their land. So we can work along with that. I will have Nari to look at the ideas that you talk about. Nari is making it. Yes, and you are not hearing the ladies, but the ladies not do agriculture. One ladies, the president instructed me that 35% of women and youth have to be in all the programs in the Ministry of Agriculture. Let me hear the women. What are the women doing? They are not doing some agriculture. We can work along with you all. We have the Fresh Roads project that we started some couple months ago. We are now trying to get back that restarted. We can work along with you all in the patrols project that we have. You can get a flower rose for about $200 to $300 from Nari, and you sold back at $1,000 to $1,500. Fast turnover. These are the things that we're looking at. Pardon? We do have an interest.
So one thing, we had an exam officer came from an exam officer
Land, the extension of some land.
Where is that? Land is here? Come around in front, let people see you. You're from here?
We got.
Oh, after you're from here, come here. Huh?
I was transferred
Here.
from this area to King actually.
So who works here? Who works here?
Mr. Oscar Williams.
Where is William?
He's on Anthony.
Every time you can get somebody. How often Williams is from here? You all know?
Every 2 years.
Here? That's fine.
Yes, sir. So I was
He's
saying
three
to Mr. Lal again.
So Lal come back here for Monday. That's what's happening in the issue, right?
It's each side of
So Lal, come in for me and back. So you willing to come back here to work?
Yeah, I'm willing to play.
Where you living?
Huh?
Where you
I
living?
live at Carleton.
Carleton. So they come back on Monday here. Right in the farmers want to work with him.
Yes, sir.
Good. All right. Any other issue? No other issue. You can't record the other issues. Yes, I hear back. Any comment? Somebody stand back.
Good afternoon, Corporate Minister,
Yeah, good afternoon.
and the table. The one interesting point that I most recognize is what you guys are Minister. Back in the years, I've been a king farmer, but since the estate have been visualized in different kind of modes, I need to restate my place. I have the lot numbers, and they are D and E respectively. But if I can tell you, Mr. Minister, I haven't been there, I've been doing 40 years, so I can't recall where it is presently. We should be somewhere before the bridge. The other area is called the bridge, so the land D and E respectively
First or second?
used to be the Forest Bridge. Used to be somewhere around that time, because I was a game harvester as well, and I had a farm there. Years back, myself and a couple other young men, during the August holiday, we used to harvest cane for the villagers. Myself and Mr. Paul Snow, we all worked together, harvesting cane for the cane farmers and ourselves. So ownership is our main aspect. I talked to Mr. The guy next to you, and he's mentioned that they are raising that. I guess if the road is completed, the clearance, and if we can have the signboards put up, and we can identify our places.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So last time, our letter land service to work with Comprises when the CDC established ownership for this land at the back. Right? So we get a map first of all for the entire stretch of the back. Then we can establish ownership. Any other? Yeah, let's come in the front here.
I can talk about it.
So the man here in the back.
Good morning, Doctor. 701-3788. I have to give people from the preference to the express opinions. First, I am originally from Guyana. I'm not in the road, but I farm on the Suicide and Diet. So I have to give people about 12, 15 acres.
15 acres of bush and clear.
No, just a start. From the Suicide, what is it, Bharrat Road?
So you can track to go down there, one track.
Yeah, one truck.
Good, all right. Good.
That way I can go.
One way.
How long is the track? 1 mile, half mile?
No, it's 15 acres from the road straight onto the back of the property. Because for me to plant for the back there.
You need a track like about 40 feet.
No, about 14 feet.
14 feet, 12 feet. There we go do it.
One
I
right
will do it
to
for you.
the estimation of.
And after this meeting, we come back and take the information, you do it. I promise.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, yes.
My name is Minister Hon. I'm from Beterverwagting, East Coast of Demerara. I've been farming for the backlands that the minister has spoken about. But one thing that is missing in the old area that we didn't address is security. No matter what you do, everything. Ask yourself.
I'm going to keep from. In this community, from outside.
I don't know if I had known, the police would have known. You plan, the things are coming good, everything is fine. You conquer all the difficulties are going down here. At the end of it all, you can get anything. Cows, people who own cows are being living off of the land that where they are scattered graze. Where will they put those cows? I know people who have over 100 cows at the back of BB Triumph. and has been frustrated because driving them across to Guyana to BD and Triumph, where poor people try to make a living, came because of things. What are you doing about security in the area? That's my problem.
All right. Part of about security, right? We have to work along with the police. I will speak to the Minister of Home Affairs. We had an issue in the West Forties area between number 5 and 3, and I think that matter has been resolved because we have engaged the police, we've engaged the community to help. So I will put that system in place here, right here at Beterverwagting. Also, a cow. We are trying now to relocate all the cattle out of the productive area, the farm area. The largest cattle owner, I think they are engaging him now, and he's not coming forward, so we try to get him to come and deal with the cattle issue. The cattle has been a nuisance in this area in terms of destroying people's crop. And we'll work along with that, just like how they raise the issue about the pigs. Any other? Yes, the First Lady.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Minister, for coming and hearing this farmer's concern. I would like to know if there's program still like for small farmers with this, like this black giant, the dark chicken, if the program still exists.
All right. How many person looking forward for the let me rephrase this question. I can give about 20 persons now some black giant chicken within a week. How many person need?
Also dark chicken?
Everybody need. Let us CDC collect. Where is CDC chairman? Where is the chairwoman? The chairwoman. Come. You are the back of the exterior man. So you all collect the names and let us start first with women single parents. The first 25 single parents women will get 20 black giant board. Right? That will be the first week. And then we will see to get some other persons. Right, miss?
Yes. Another problem like this, my farmer was talking about the slant farmers, right? With the drainage. In front of me, the water is very stagnated. I would love like to clear up that as
So
soon
you
as
clear that out in the Thailand that Mr. Lionel spoke about, we bring the water out to the Atlantic. So that is in process right now.
Okay.
Right? So you have relief charge.
Thank you.
Right? Good. Yes, farmer in the back, green shirt.
Yes, if I be grateful if you could have done some dumpling. Some dumpling.
You just a farmer?
Yeah.
How much you want to purchase? Remember the word is female,
No problem.
single parent.
You don't get 200-300. No, like the court is in there saying no problem.
All right, we're going to put your name on after this meeting. The Bible take your name on the list. And we look to see, right? Any other? Yes.
Yes. As a big farmer, what I would like to have, I would like to have whatever y'all could afford to give some big farmers. Like,
How many pigs you have?
I have 13 dropping so.
So I can give you a board now. I can give you a board.
The next time, people can get the fine board, the fine soap, and then we got.
So I'll give you a foreign board and the guy in the
mix
south.
up with the soap there.
Okay, use the guy and I will give you a foreign board.
Yeah.
Or brought in, right?
Yeah.
Good, so and that's you have to tell the other farmers.
The last time they give me the sand, they give me no sand, they give me the cement and the stone. No black, no nothing. As a farmer.
No, we give you that, man.
Yeah?
I didn't give you that.
You take from no
Nobody else wants to give you sand. No, we.
here.
You give them. You work in this area. You give them sand?
Your son, when you stone and cement, no block.
Where you get them? Where you get them?
It's the SADP project, covering with Mitzi, and we share the stuff then.
Where you here?
Get them sand, cement, stone, some get black tank.
So what is current height?
Yeah, cement, sand and cement.
You got sand and cement? You have?
I got the son, I got your son.
Where you have?
Well, the project, you can't get everything. The project, you can't get everything in the project.
Collect the stone and the cement.
And where is the sand and stone and cement?
The son,
Where was the stone and cement?
it's up on the farm.
So what do you need now?
I need the black and the sun.
What block you need?
300 black.
Hold on. Come to the front. Listen, that was a program.
Yes.
The College SAP program.
Yes.
And the program was to assist farmers. Assist in circulating everything.
Everything.
So they give the sand, they give the stone, and they give the cement. You are supposed to provide the block and the
And
sand.
I use it at that place because they didn't give me the faro.
Borrow?
The faro.
I'll give you a borrow.
Right?
I'll give you one.
Thank you very much, I'm blessed.
So come on in my office, you'll get one. Come in my office. We have an office here, right? We have a GLD. Go to GLD. Go to Walden, Dr. Walden, and you'll collect the form.
Thank you very much.
Good one.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
So get your block and you block and you sand and then you pen. All right, good.
The light. The light stand, the GPR gave me the light.
You get everything free.
And no, and street. Over tells me, and you don't know you consumer like someone like that on the sideline side. And I'm glad if you can assist me so that the transform the current together.
All right, you will talk to Dr. Walden when you go Monday to GLD.
Thank you very much.
Talk to him, right?
Yes, Mr.
Good, all right.
Pleasant good evening, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm asking the assistance of the agricultural ministry and swine farmer and some small scale. I had 4 dropping samples. And they gave me 50 something tickets, 53 tickets. And out of the 53, 43 I don't. So I'm asking for assistance of maybe some proper breeding, dropping sound, that sort of thing.
So let it GLD, go into Dr. Walden before I give you anything. Go in first and then come and do an analysis, what part they get. Right, what happened to you? Well, take the mic. What happened to you?
No, Mr. Joel is aware of this.
So what caused the stick to die? So what? Take the mic.
Issues on the farm, when I went in, some of the piglets that they died.
So y'all working with him?
Yeah, he's working on
So y'all correct the issue?
Yeah, to give me some advice on what's not.
So no, the advice that you give, is the advice you implemented.
So some
When last time you visit this farm?
like 2 weeks ago.
So go with him, let's go see Dr. Walden Monday. Go with him at GMB, right? Correct? Good, all right. Any other?
No.
No other issue? Yeah, come, somebody.
Good day, Minister, and good day, everybody. My name is Bharrat Jagdeo, known as Bob. I have 90% of the land in the backyard. And I am facing a huge problem with this NBC. They cut across my land and they make a dam. And then they gone over all the private people lands there and they make a highway. Which the road, BP road, supposed to go straight through. Another thing, Mr. Tribe, who squat on my land 8 to 1.
Who squat on your land?
Tribe. At present now, 8 to 1, 75, he's planting it. Then he squat over my land, another land, 43. I have transport for them.
All right, y'all, here, y'all.
Yes, sir, Minister. I have transport for all my lands then. I have all documents to show.
So you went in the spot on your land. Did you went to the police to get him out of that?
No, I didn't go. At present I have a case with Tribal at the Supreme Court.
Right. You're taking legal issues, legal
Yes, so that is the reason why I'm here. And the road that is
so when Steve comes, show them the road. Steve coming back here. Show them where the road is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The road is supposed to go straight.
All right, you show the team when they come back.
Okay, Minister. Thanks a lot. I hope you all have a look into this.
All right. For some of the farmers, some of the low farmers, they will about you. The secretary for the CDC and the chairman will take your names. The chairman will deal directly with a single parent female for the minister's request, as minister's request, for adults, as well as those of you interested in the roads program. The concern that some of you have with the road, I think I can address Mr. Jagdeo on the matter. I think somewhere in 1995, the council made a decision to take back, as it is legally enshrined in 1902, to take back land for egress and ingress to the farmland. And that was a decision that we then and we met. And we can't stop, because if we have to stop, the persons who are now having access will not be granted access to the land. Those of you who know the farmland know very well that your canes and the cane beds used to be accessed from that point. Another thing we have is that there are a number of persons, no one call names, but it might be very much include you to Mr. Jagdeo, who have taken access of what is known as the dam beds, what used to provide access to lands. Now, a number of you, what we have found, are going and applying prescriptive rights. I can tell you off the bat that the council have engaged the Attorney General Chamber, and we're asking them to put a stop, and in some cases, to go after those lands.
Yes.
Some of you have some problems that the minister will have ventilated the issue. When he said to you, he can't clear land that doesn't belong to him. So the first process that the CDC will do, those of you who want your lands to be cleared, you will visit the CDC, we will come, ensure that you have your documentation, we will visit the NDC, ask the clerk to check, ensure that it is you. In some cases, we know your mother, your father never left a will, never left anything, but the AG will have made it easier for you now. As long as you establish the transport and you see the land is your great-great-grandfather land, whoever land, that's it. The other issue you're getting is some people come and tell you that this is a fourth parents land and fourth parents land. Lands are owned by two ways, transport or title. Nobody will come and tell you about ancestral lands. It doesn't exist. It exists in here. Right? If you can find those transports of your great-grandfather and all those people that used to farm those lands, we have prepared and left the NDC, along with CDC, to work with you. We are not going to facilitate anybody coming to sell those backlands out. When they sell it out, people come to do that kind of things, and the farmers can't farm. They come to complain that the farmers farming, doing livestock, when they know very well what they bought is a farmland. You have an issue. Somebody buys a set of land from somebody, and they want to do a house in the area. We have the right to housing the subject. To say, well, if they develop the housing and people come mine the pig there, they can't come and complain to the council. The lands are demarcated for that purpose, and it will remain for that purpose. So as I said, we want to thank the Minister for his time, and certain that he has addressed most of our concerns, and he will look into those that he had not the chance to address by sending his technical team.
So just before we conclude, the technical team will be coming back here on Wednesday. So you have people from NARI, GLA, NDIA. Now I want the CDC to be part, and our last chance is survey to send a rep. But the issue raised, we will ventilate it to the other agencies and follow up. Now I want the CDC to get the farmers, and this visit will be going to the backland to see what is going on there. right? So Miss, ensure you get the people them out, the farmers, and Jagdeo, Mr. Jagdeo from NRE will coordinate with you all, and our team will be coming back. And after that team will have finished its report, I will come back to you all and tell you that what will extra at our additional work that we'll be doing. Because we have already started drainage and irrigation in this community. All those farmers that we have made commitment with, for the black giant, the people who have to get the breeding animal, and also planting material. We will ensure that we give you all the planting material. Right? So our officers here will follow back on all these issues, and I will be coming back shortly after we want to implement the program. Right? Thank you very much.